Most people spend decades working hard, paying into Social Security and dreaming about the day they can finally collect their benefits. But here is the problem. When the time comes, most people make their claiming decision based on emotion, not numbers. They say, I worked my whole life, I want my money now. Or they say, what if Social Security goes broke? I better take it fast. And that decision, made in just a few minutes, can cost them over $200,000 in their lifetime. Today, I'm going to show you the exact numbers for claiming Social Security at age 62, age 67, and age 70. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly which age makes the most sense for your situation. So let us start from the very beginning. When you work and pay taxes in the United States, a portion of every paycheck goes into the Social Security system. Based on your total lifetime earnings, the Social Security Administration calculates a number called your primary insurance amount. Your primary insurance amount is the monthly benefit you receive if you claim at your full retirement age. Now, full retirement age used to be 65 for most Americans, but the government gradually raised it, and starting in 2026, full retirement age is officially 67 for anyone born in 1960 or later. This is a huge deal, and most people do not realize it has changed. Now, the rules give you a choice. You can claim Social Security as early as age 62, or you can wait all the way until age 70. But here is what most people do not understand. Every single month you claim before your full retirement age permanently reduces your benefit. And every single month you delay past your full retirement age permanently increases your benefit. This is not temporary. This is not something that resets later. Whatever you lock in on the day you claim, that is your number for the rest of your life. Let us talk about age 62 first. Claiming at 62 means you are claiming 60 months, or 5 years, before your full retirement age of 67. The Social Security Administration reduces your benefit by a specific percentage for each month you claim early. When you add it all up, claiming at 62 gives you approximately 30% less than your full retirement age benefit. Let me give you a real example with real 2026 numbers. Let us say your full retirement age benefit is $2,000 per month. If you claim at 62, you'll receive approximately $1,400 per month. That is $600 less every single month. And remember, that reduction is permanent, it never goes back up. Now, the maximum possible benefit in 2026 for someone who claims at 62 is $2,969 per month. But that is the absolute maximum for the highest earners in America. For most working Americans, the number at 62 is much lower. Now, let us talk about claiming at full retirement age, which is 67. At 67, you receive 100% of your primary insurance amount. No reductions, no penalties. You get exactly what you earned. In 2026, the maximum benefit at full retirement age is $4,152 per month. The average American collecting at full retirement age receives somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500 per month, depending on their earnings history. Now here is where it gets really interesting. What happens if you wait even longer? What happens if you delay past 67 all the way to age 70? For every month you delay past your full retirement age, your benefit increases by 2/3%. That works out to 8% per year. So if you delay from 67 to 70, that is 3 years, and your benefit increases by 24%. 24% more money every single month for the rest of your life. Going back to our example of someone with a $2,000 full retirement age benefit, at 67, they get $2,000. At 70, they get $2,480. That is $480 more every single month. And the maximum possible benefit in 2026 at age 70 is $5,181 per month. Let me put all three numbers side by side so you can see this clearly. At age 62, our example person gets $1,400 per month. At age 67, they get $2,000 per month. At age 70, they get $2,480 per month. The difference between claiming at 62 versus waiting until 70 is $1,080 every single month. That is $12,960 per year. If you live for 20 years after age 70, that difference adds up to $259,200 over your lifetime. Let that number sink in. A single claiming decision made on one day affects your income for the next 20 or 30 years. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, wait a minute, if I claim at 62, I get more total checks. I start getting paid 8 years before someone who waits until 70. Doesn't that mean I come out ahead? This is where the break-even calculation comes in. The break-even age is the point at which delaying your claim starts to pay off. And for most people, that break-even point falls somewhere between age 78 and age 82. What that means is this. If you claim at 62 and you die before age 78, you technically came out ahead by taking early benefits. But if you live past 78, and especially if you live past 82, waiting was the smarter financial decision. And here is the critical piece of information. The average American who reaches age 65 today is expected to live to approximately age 84 for men and age 87 for women. Most people in relatively good health are going to live well past that break-even point. So statistically speaking, for the average healthy American, waiting longer is the better financial choice. But statistics are not the only thing that matters. Let me tell you, when claiming at 62 actually makes sense. If you have a serious health condition and you have reason to believe your life expectancy is shorter than average, claiming early is a smart move. If you desperately need the income right now and you have no other options, claiming early may be necessary. If you are single with no spouse, depending on your benefit, the calculation is purely about you and your own life expectancy. But if you're married, there is an additional factor that most people completely ignore. When a spouse passes away, the surviving spouse receives the higher of the two Social Security benefits. So if you die and your benefit was reduced because you claimed at 62, your spouse inherits that reduced amount for the rest of their life. But if you waited and built up the maximum possible benefit, your spouse inherits that higher number. This is why claiming strategy for married couples is so much more important and so much more complicated. Now, let me talk about a strategy that many financial planners recommend for married couples. The lower earning spouse claims at 62 or full retirement age to bring income into the household. The higher earning spouse delays all the way to 70 to maximize that benefit. Why? Because the higher earning spouse's benefit becomes the survivor benefit. When one spouse passes, the other keeps the bigger check. And by maximizing the higher earner's benefit, you are protecting the surviving spouse for potentially decades. This single strategy can add hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime household income. Now, let me address the Social Security will go broke argument, because I hear this constantly. People say they are taking their money early because they are afraid Social Security is going to run out. Here is the truth about that. The Social Security Trust Fund does face long-term funding challenges. The trustees project that if nothing changes, the fund could face a shortfall around 2035. But even in that worst-case scenario, Social Security would still be able to pay approximately 80% of scheduled benefits. And historically, Congress has always acted to prevent Social Security cuts because the political consequences would be enormous. Cutting Social Security benefits would affect over 70 million Americans. No politician wants to be responsible for that. So while the system needs reform, it is very unlikely that your benefits will disappear entirely. Claiming early because you fear Social Security going broke means you are guaranteeing yourself a permanently reduced benefit today in exchange for protection against a scenario that probably will not happen. That is not a good trade. Let me now give you a simple framework for making your claiming decision. First, check your health honestly. If you are in excellent health with a family history of longevity, waiting pays off more. Second, check your financial situation. If you have retirement savings, a pension, or a spouse's income, you may have the flexibility to wait. Third, if you are married, think about survivor benefits. Maximizing the higher earner's benefit protects the surviving spouse. Fourth, calculate your personal break-even age. If you claim at 67 instead of 62, the monthly difference times how many months you would need to live to break even gives you your personal break-even date. Fifth, visit SSA.gov and create your account. You can see your actual projected benefit amounts at different ages based on your real earnings history. Here's the bottom line. Claiming Social Security is one of the most important financial decisions you will ever make. It is not something to decide in 5 minutes based on what your neighbor did. The numbers are clear. Waiting longer almost always results in significantly more money over your lifetime. For a healthy person with average life expectancy, the difference between claiming at 62 versus waiting until 70 can easily exceed $200,000. That is not a small thing. That is a life-changing amount of money. Take the time to run your own numbers. Think about your health, your spouse, your other income sources, and your goals, and then make the decision that is right for your specific situation, not somebody else's. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, because next week I'm covering the 5 biggest Social Security mistakes that are costing retirees thousands of dollars. You're going to want to see that one before you make any claiming decisions. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.